you're depressed, you don't have a job, you're jobless, you're depressed, you're sick.
You're constantly sad.
You're constantly sad. You're looking, actually me last year ndo nilikuwa nakaa tu chini. Ukiangalia hiyo, that quote that you read, what's not giving up on yourself felt like. And I saw that and I related it so much with my life. Because I look back and at some point I just given up. I had just given up and I was like, wacha tu ikae, sio lazima. So you're looking, unaangalia mbele unaona giza tupu. And nikanaambia mtu last year, ilikuwa imefika place nilikuwa naona sitamaliza last year. I would even like, I'm living alone. You don't even want to lock your doors. You're like, maybe I will sleep and not wake up.
That is depression.
Maybe I will sleep and not wake up. So you want to, unalala kwa kiti na hata hujafunga mlango. Ndio ukikufa, watu wasi struggle, kuja kuvunja milango. Yeah, at some point I felt like now, even that time I sat down and as I was talking to God, I was like, God, you've decided 36 it is. And I would have wanted it to be different, but if this is it, then it is okay.
So be your will.
So be your will. So be your will. Because
Hello and a warm welcome to Kwanza Show. My name is Akengo Omsale. I am very privileged to have my guest today, and I am so happy to bring to you a story of resilience, a story of growth, a story of fortitude. My guest today has been through so much, but when I look at her, from where I'm sitting, she has been able to accomplish a lot in life. Nilimwambia sometime back when we were having a phone call, I look up to her a lot. Nataka hata mimi nikuwe na hiyo title ya daktari for my own gains, so that watu wakiongea unasikia daktari traveled, daktari is not around. That will make me very happy. So without any further ado, I'll give my guest an opportunity to introduce herself so that she can share her story and you learn from her. Karibu sana to our show.
Asante sana Maggie. Thank you for having me here. Yeah, I'm honored to be here and share part of my story. I'm saying part of my story because ni kubwa. So my name is Ann Thirika. Nimezaliwa Tharaka Nithi County. Huko kwenye kura zinatengenezangwa huko. Yeah, mimi ni mzaliwa wa Tharaka Nithi County, born to the family of one Mr. Thirika and Mrs. Evelyn Thirika. I have 4 siblings. So there are 3 boys and 2 girls. This is Nikitinda member. I have a twin brother. Paul Thirika. So yeah, basically that is me. For now, I work at Egerton University.
Okay. I want you to put that title in your name, Dr. Ann Thirika. Own it.
I own it. Yeah. I am Dr. Ann Thirika. Yeah, lecturer in Egerton University. In physics department.
And welcome to our show. Karibu sana. I'm very humbled that you accepted my invitation to come and share part of your story. So that means so much to me. And even before I begin asking you a question, I'd like to read something that you had posted. You said, I kept going, not because I wanted to trust me. All of me wanted to stop. I kept going because I deserved to know what not giving up on myself felt like.
Yeah.
To me, that was entirely powerful. So we'll begin with your background. Tell me about your background. How was it for you being raised up?
Okay, as I've already mentioned, nilizaliwa kwa hiyo familia ya Dr. Mr. Thirika and Mrs. Thirika. My dad was a high school teacher, a principal for quite a long time, disciplinarian, and my mom was a nurse. So I would say growing up, I had a smooth childhood. Sitakuja hapa nikae chini nidanganye ati I wasn't provided for. I think we had all the basics. My parents really worked hard to make sure we were provided for. Hata tukapelekwa academy. Sikusomea just a primary school. Tulisomea kwa shule like in class 1, nursery to class 4. We went to a school ilikuwa inaitwa Chukade. Chukade Academy. Then from Chukade, I went to a boarding school, Reverend Ikingi boarding school from class 5 to class 8. Hata class 8 nilipita vizuri. Nilikuwa na 425 marks out of 500. So hata nikakuwa kwa magazeti. I would say, I think from that place was so motivating. But my goal was to become a doctor of medicine. Actually, nilikuwa nataka kufanya hii field there. Either dentistry. I was either dentistry or gynecology. But I knew my destiny. Ilikuwa medicine. That one I knew because I was doing well. So kutoka hapo nikaenda high school. I went to Precious Blood secondary school. So Precious Blood nikasoma kutoka form 1 mpaka form 4. A very obedient child, no troubles at school, very humble, obedient. But after form 4, I didn't get the cluster for medicine. Actually, I was shocked. I got a B+, something I never expected. Hiyo part ya maybe giving up should have started there because I knew I'm not badly off. I was a good child. I was a nitumia jina bright. And I expected I would get better than that. But I think sengine we plan, God decides.
Sure.
So nikamaliza, nikapata B+. It was a strong B+. It was just 1 mark off an A-. So but the cluster didn't get to the cluster of medicine. But if I wanted to go back for parallel, I would have, the cluster was enough for parallel. But at that point, my parents were retired. So medicine, unajua, ni expensive. So I was like, no, there's no point of taking my parents through all that hassle. Or maybe wauze mpaka land for me to go through medicine. So it was a plan B. But I was so sure I'm not repeating. I'm not repeating. That one was so clear. I'm not repeating school because it wasn't a bad mark. It's only that the cluster for medicine haikuwa inafika. But I was qualified to join university for other courses. As fate as it, nikaitiwa education. This is something that I never thought I would have wanted to do. Unajua ile kwanza hiyo wakati wetu ati unataka kukuwa mwalimu. You want to go to the university and do engineering, you do law, you do these prestigious courses. So I'm looking back. Mi kwanza mind yangu iko stuck. 425 marks. And then I'm ending up to teach. That was not what I wanted. But then you're told, okay, in the university there's a chance that is given for people to change the course. I was running away from education. So the first time I went, nikoleka cluster yangu imefika food, nutrition and dietetics. This is what I'm going to take because nilikuwa nimefanya home science and I passed so well in home science. It will take me back to work in the hospital environment the way I wanted. Like some shallow minds, you're not thinking hospital utarudi kufanya nini. What will you, but you're running away from education. So nita change. But nikajaribu kuchange haikuenda through. Kusema by the way mipango ya Mungu inakuanga ya ajabu sana. So I get to nikaanza education. So tunaenda unachaguliwa. Umeitwa education science. Wewe utafanya physics, maths. Wewe utafanya chemistry. So mimi nimeingia nimeambiwa wewe utafanya physics, maths. That was it. So I started the journey of physics and mathematics. But the first 2 years it was very hard to accept. That I am doing education. So that I didn't exert myself so much. I was just sibora to me graduate. This is not what I wanted for my destiny. But when nilikuwa naendelea, you interact with master students and I'm like, I would even want to come back because I was in chapel, I was in gospel outreach kwa another church hapo. So there were some students who were master students and I used to look up to them and I'm like, I would want to come back and do master. So there's this specific one alikuwa anaitwa Chris. I'm asking Chris, how do you come back to do masters? Una develop your interest, akaniambia. Actually, you don't even have to wait to graduate so that you can come back and do masters. What you do, you use your transcripts. So kiingia for their second semester, you use your transcripts from first year to for their first semester. Kama umepata second class upper and above, you just apply for masters. And that is what I did. So I just applied and even forgot about it. Because I've applied at the beginning of the beginning of, I've not even told my parents when I apply for masters. No, it was this thought. I would want to go back and do masters, but I am 50-50.
Okay.
If I get good money, I'll go for the money. So I started teaching in a local secondary school.
That is after you've graduated?
No, before graduation.
Okay.
I've just finished. So you see, there's this period when you're waiting for graduation. The results, the second semester hata hazijatoka. Yeah, so I've just finished. We finished the last exam. I've gone back home. So nikapata kazi ya BOG in a local secondary school. I was teaching physics and maths.
Okay.
Now nimefunza the May, tulifunga early May. So hiyo May yote nimefunza June, July. My mom now starts telling me, now I've given you accommodation for long. So what I want you to do is start your life. So go and look for a house. I'll give you the basics. I'll give you a bed. I'll give you a meko. I'll give you sufurias. You go and start life. I'm being paid 15,000. Now I'm looking at this 15,000 and I'm like, I need to pay rent with this 15,000. I need to eat from this 15,000. I need to survive. I don't want to accept that reality of now being released to the ulimwengu. You're being released now. I was a bit scared to start life. And within that week, I'm like, now, wacha hii month iishe, nikuwe nikitafuta nyumba. I told my mom that, but wacha hii month iishe, wacha nianze kutafuta nyumba, then I'll move next month. Then my dad, one day, comes with a letter from Egerton. Akaniambia, hii ni barua yako kutoka Egerton. My dad alikuwa anafungua barua za mtu. Ebu angalia ni nini Egerton wanataka. So I go and open, they have offered me a place to do masters, like wamenipatia your call letter, admission letter for masters. And I'm like, now this is it. This is my escape from going to the ulimwengu. So I come now very bold and I'm like, nilikuwa nimeapply masters daddy. We have just taken dinner. Na hii barua uliniletea ni call letter, it's an admission letter for masters. Kama utanilipia nitarudi nisome. And my dad was like, yes. Hizi miti zote zenye tuko nazo kwa hii boma. I have my pension. I have land that I can dispose. If you want to go back to school, I'll support you to the end. Okay. And that is how I came back now for masters. Yeah, that is how I escaped going into the world with 15,000. And I'm like, hey, sasa, at least sasa nitaendelea, nitalipiwa school fees, nitakula ka pocket money. You know, like, now life will be. Yeah, and that is how now my dad said, go and, because they had given a date for registration, go and register. How much do they want? Yeah. He pays the fees, I come, register. Na nikaanza safari ya masters hapo. Yeah.
Supportive parents.
Very supportive parents. Yeah.
So talk to me about masters. How was it?
Now, at that point, I was not informed. Unajua sasa hiyo sasa ndio internet inaanza kuingia. We're not even versed so much about the internet, about the opportunities that are there in sciences. Because for masters, I should even have gotten a scholarship. But those were things that I was not even aware. I didn't know about them. But right now, hata kitu ninaweza ambia watu, like opportunities are there. If you want to study, scholarships, grants, funds, information is there. So you utaingia tu kwa internet and you get a lot of information. So that time I wasn't aware. So my parents had to foot everything. It was a tough journey because the fee for the 2 years was slightly over 400,000. And then there's what we call the project. My project had a budget of around 800,000. And these are money that my parents had to foot. But the 800,000, what we did when I did part of my project in Warma. Okay. So when I got to Warma, I got to cut almost half of the budget. Yeah, because now those people know where to import these chemicals. They know where to get these reagents and everything. I'm not paying bench fee. I've been told you will work free. You will just come. You just work for free. So that benchmark is not being charged. So they gave me a platform where I was able to complete my research in a short period of time. Within 6 months, I was done with my research, and they had cut my budget into half. So this master's degree could have taken my parents slightly over 1 million Kenya shillings, because they also used to pay for my upkeep. Because I got a house, I was paying 2,000 per month. I had to eat. this is a girl who has been pampered. Hata kwanza sijajua kujitafutia bado. Yeah, so it was an expensive journey. What I can say is that I thank God for parents who are very supportive, who are ready to dispose of their assets, anything, but keep me in school. Yeah, and there a very big support system. Wamenishikilia mpaka hata sahi nikikuwa broke, I call my dad and I'm like, I'm broke.
Wow.
Na atanitumia pesa ya kusurvive.
Masters ulisomea nini?
Masters I did biophysics. Yeah, so biophysics is basically the physics of living organisms, where we just use physics principles and methods to look at the functions of biological systems. So nikikupatia just highlight of whatever I did for my project. I was doing trying to kill bacteria in water using magnetic field. Bacteria are living organisms. Magnetic field is a physics method. So applying physics method in living organisms. So it's a biophysics is the physics of living organisms. Tukikuwa secondary, we were told physics is the study of non-living things. I think that don't live. But there's also physics in living things, and that field is what we call biophysics. So the specialization in masters of biophysics, applying physics principles and methods on living systems. Yeah.
So when you are doing masters, allow me to ask you this question, kwa sababu sometimes when we want to do the masters part, our fear is, so nitafanya, unajua we get better sometimes to earn more. We get better. Ndio hiyo flow ya pesa at least ifunguke vizuri. And sometimes when you want to do the masters part, our fear is I'll be spending a lot of money in education, which labda haitanisaidia, mbona sasa nifanye masters. Did you have those fears, and how did you overcome them?
At first, when I went back to do my masters, I didn't have those fears because I was escaping reality. I didn't want to start life. And at the back of my mind, I was like, this masters, I think itanifungulia. I was so positive. Nilikuwa like, itanifungulia njia. And nilikuwa najiambia kwa sababu sijakuwa a doctor of medicine. Hii title doctor naweza pata tu. Naweza kuwa tu. Naweza pata tu. So at the back of my mind, I knew I will go up to PhD. And what I would want to tell people who are going back to study, masters might not. There's a supervisor of mine who told me, masters is just like a bridging course. You're just being introduced into research. If you want to get fruits and benefits from education and you've decided to go back to school, work till the end, go up to the PhD level. That will open more doors. Yeah. And that is what I took with me. So even for me, for masters, I wouldn't say, because actually katikati ya hiyo masters, after finishing the coursework, then I went for the research. 6 months, I've finished my research. I've gotten my data, I have everything. But then I get a job, Greenstead's International School. Group of schools. Yeah, I joined Greenstead and I forget even I was in school. Because umeanziwa kamshahara kazuri, sasa hiyo si 15,000.
Ni pesa inaweza
kukusustain. And then now when I went back to Greenstead, I didn't have experience ya British curriculum. So they put me on a diploma course. Ilikuwa inaitwa Cambridge Diploma for Teachers and Trainers. So I didn't have time to continue with my, just sit down, and I had even done analysis of data. It was just writing the thesis. That is in nimejoin 2011 masters. 2013 I'm done with the basic. Ni thesis imebaki kuandika. Hiyo 2013 I get a job. I go with and I forget. So nimekaa tu hivyo, my supervisors were like, you know what? We are going to drop from this work of yours. You went to the lab, you did everything. Why are you not finishing? And that is when it hits me. Let me just go and finish. Nilikuwa nimeanza ku get a little bit comfortable. Yeah, a little bit comfortable. Then I used to remember my supervisor saying, hata ukiwa umemaliza masters, it's not like it will not open as many doors as a PhD would open. So after finishing masters, nime graduate, I'm still in Greenstead. And whatever now hurts me most about being in Greenstead is that they just need a they just need, you have a diploma in education or a bachelor's in education. Your master's will not mean that ati mshahara yako itaongezewa. So there's some people who had worked there for long period of time, they didn't have masters, but they were earning
more than you.
And that is what now motivated me more to just come back to school, because now I was like, I've stagnated. What was the point of doing masters and going through all that hell? Because it's not easy. I would say it's not an easy road, but it can be done.
Okay.
Yeah, it can be done. So what was the point? Why should I go back to school and then I'm not getting a promotion here? So see, let me just go and finish, from the words of my supervisor. Yeah, so that motivated me a lot to now come back for my PhD after, because I graduated in 2016.
That is masters.
Yeah, masters. And then I stayed for 2 years. And within these 2 years, I had battles with myself a lot. And there are very good opportunities with the British system, and they pay well. So I had even told myself, or I just stay here, then I move from here, I go to maybe International School of Kenya, I go to Peponi, because they are paying well. These people are serious employers. You know, like International School of Kenya, you are paid over 800,000 Kenya shillings.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. So that is what I was telling myself. See, at the end of it all, we just need money. Yeah. But then I was like, the path I chose, I'll just have stagnated. There was no point of going back to school for masters if I wanted to stay in this system, just in a bachelor's. Yeah, with a bachelor's, I'll go and do that. So let me just come back and see what life has on this other side.
That was a bold move.
Yeah, it's a very bold move. Unaangalia pesa ndio hilo, ninaweza ipata, lakini wacha nisifocus kwa pesa, wacha nifocus kwa, yeah, on like progressing. You see, like, yeah, even that title.
So when you came back to finish your masters, ukaachana na studies za job?
No, because it was just writing the thesis. Nilijikakamua to spend a bit of sleepless nights here and there. Just wrote the thesis. I submitted it to go to the external examiner. It went through. Then I was called for defense. I came and defended while I was still working in Greenstead. Yeah. Okay. Because I graduated in 2016. I worked for 2 more years. So I was in Greenstead for like 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in these two years is when now you made the decision to come back for your PhD. Now talk to me about your PhD journey.
Now the PhD journey, how it started, I had applied for a scholarship and I'd gotten a scholarship with University of Toronto. Okay. Then at that time, I had also applied for a teaching job. Actually, we were just applying for part-timing job in Egerton, but there was a gap. Like the physics department of Egerton was understaffed at that point. And then they decided they wanted now to employ people on contract. So for us, we just applied for part-time. We were lucky and we were called for contractual job. So this time, the invite for Toronto, University of Toronto is here for PhD scholarship. The invite to Egerton University is here to start my contract, my teaching contract as a assistant lecturer. So it was a very hard decision to make, but I was telling myself, what I will do, I will accept this job from Egerton, and then I'll ask them for study leave, and then I go for, because I defer, like for a year. Then I ask for study leave, and then I go to Canada for my PhD. So when I got the job and I went to ask for study leave, they're like, you're already understaffed. And the reason that's why we're bringing you people here is the department is understaffed. You cannot afford to send someone on study leave at this point. So what we are going to do, you will either you wait for 3 years, and then now you cannot defer for 3 years. Now that chance will have gone. You have to apply again, or you just start your PhD. And when you start your PhD, we are going to give you a scholarship. Okay. Yeah, we'll give you a scholarship here because you're working for us. So that's how I decided. PhD ni PhD.
Ikuwe ya Toronto,
ikuwe ya Kenya. Sasa niko na job, watanipatia scholarship. It's a win-win.
Yeah,
so I just said, then the contracts are being renewed on your progress in PhD, because it got to a point when the Commission of University Education, they said that they are phasing out those people who don't have PhDs in the university. So you didn't know at what point it's going to be serious. So do I wait for 3 years and start applying for more PhDs, or do I take this scholarship? So the bird in hand is worth whatever in the bush. So I just took my PhD. They gave me a scholarship. I'm very grateful for the scholarship. And I started my PhD journey. Yeah, I had wanted to do a PhD also in biophysics. But by the time I was coming, I thought I was telling you that the biophysics, like, we didn't have lecturers because the university was understaffed. That is the physics department. So there's another time I kept on looking for these university jobs because by the time I was in masters, being a lecturer was so lucrative. Because there was those part-timing jobs, people were claiming money, like people are being paid well, you're being paid subsistence, you're being paid mileage, you're being paid tuition fees. So one unit could even give you 250,000, 300,000. You have 2 units, you already have 600,000. You see, it was very lucrative. So I had kept on applying. And that is when I came to, my knowledge came to the realization of computational physics. Because most of the universities, when they have advertised, they are saying they are offering a job, but someone with computational physics will be an added advantage. This is a very new field. By then, it was a very new field. And actually, by the time we were coming back, it was like my supervisor were in like the second or third group to have graduated with computational physics. It was just a very new idea. I was asking, now what is this computational physics? Now when this biophysics thing could not work because you needed an internal supervisor who is a specialist in biophysics, we were employed with Dr. Muller, a very lovely lady, by the way. She really supported me. When we talk about girl child for girl child, it's a very real example of girl child for girl child. So Dr. Muller had just come back with a computational physics, doctorate in physics. And she had just won a grant in the project that I did for my PhD. Alikuwa amepata some money. So Egerton has paid for me the tuition fee. That is a scholarship. But there's this research which also needs to be funded because now even a PhD research is very expensive. But then I'm landing into the hands of Dr. Muller, and this Dr. Muller has a research fund. Wow. Already has even a problem that we are solving. So I went to Dr. Muller and I'm like, hey, Doc, this computational physics, I'm very new in that field. It's something that I've been seeing. I don't know what it is about. And I'm like, I would want to do it. And I would want you to be my supervisor. And she was like, yeah, in fact, you have won a grant. We have this title we are working on. Yeah, I will take you as my PhD student. And then there were other master students, 2 of them who were just joined. Now she got them as now masters. So the project was 2 master students and 1 PhD student. So I was a PhD student, and we were funded for our project, and it worked very well. Mungu tu anafanya vitu zinaingiana. Anafungua, you land there, you're almost confused on what to do next, but God opens a door for you. And Dr. Muller, very instrumental, even for me in finishing in a record time. I took 4 years. It was just a push from Dr. Muller. I remember there was a time we used to meet in the corridors. Ninaona Dr. Muller ndio yule. Kuna kazi ameniambia nifanye. Nimejaribu kufanya. You know, this is a new field and we are not doing experiments. We are computing. We are just using, it's like simulations. So you're using a lot of coding languages to do experiments. So it's simulation experiments. Sometimes you wait for results, they are not coming. You wait for results, they come with some errors. You have to send them again. Dr. Muller is waiting for her results and she's like, I want that work. I don't care how you do it, but by tomorrow at 8, I want that work. So saingine ujapata, you don't even know where to move from, umefika dead end. Nakwambia mimi sitaki kujua. Ulikuwa unamwona huko? Unaingia kwa lecture hall, unakaa chini, unakaa kama wewe student. Anashinda, kani nimeona Ann ama sijaona Ann? Yeah, it was intense. Yeah, even, and then at that point, during my PhD, the journey was very difficult because other things that we will talk about another time. Basically not now, but it was tough. It was a very tough journey. Yeah.
Okay. Before you continue, allow me to thank Dr. Muller. If she'll watch this, asante sana for supporting the girl child. Today Anne can confidently speak about her experiences kwa sababu she had someone who held her hand
her support
along the
system.
way. It's
Yeah.
important to have such people, by the way.
Yeah.
So in between your degree, your masters and your PhD, hapa hivi katikati, what are some of those things that you experienced as challenges and you are very proud that you conquered them to become the person you are right now? Kwa sababu mimi nikikuangalia, I admire you a lot. You have a nice car, you have the title. Mtu anaweza sema all along it has been very, very smooth for you. So what are some of the things that the challenges that you are free to talk about, that you experienced and you were able to overcome them?
This slang, mwalimu wa maths. Me in life, I don't apply that mwalimu wa maths literally as mwalimu wa maths.
Okay.
Kwa hii dunia kuna walimu wa maths. Na ni wengi. Those naysayers, those people who think, okay, but you know, yeah, it makes life interesting at some point. Those people will stop you and they'll be like, what are you doing? Why should you go back to school? Why should you why don't you take this path? This is that's basically kuna mwalimu wa maths, maybe in terms of relationship. I sorry, I don't want to share, but I was in a very, very, very toxic relationship during the time. And it was very challenging because it's like someone now starts feeling insecure that you're moving. You see, like there are those men who are insecure, they don't want you to move. And people start working behind your back to kufanya nini usiendelee, ukufe moyo. So there were those challenges. Of course, I will not say finances could have been challenges, but I thank God that at least at that time I had a job. It's contract, yes, but there's a job. At least I'm able to provide for myself. And I have supportive family. Actually, my twin brother, very, very supportive. My twin brother is someone who has amenishikilia sana. There's a time I had a very bad accident, and I thought from that accident I will not survive. It was a bad accident, and it was during my brother's function. He had to leave his function and come and save me. And tulienda kufika kwa function yake ikiwa inaisha, and it was a very important function for him because they were celebrating their son. The son, it was a gender reveal for their son who is now 2 years old. Yeah, so I've had support system. The challenges have been there. I've been through depression.
Talk to me about that phase. How did you overcome it?
I have been through depression. Sometimes life, it is very unpredictable. In physics, I would say it is a complex system. You cannot tell. Things are just random. Things just happen. And how you even get yourself in that space, you don't even know. Like you feel sick, you look sick, and you don't even know what is going on. Unaenda hospitali, saa ingine unaambiwa hata hakuna, there's nothing. Kumbe ni ugonjwa ya mawazo. And it's being mentally sick, it can kill. It's such a dark phase. Yeah, there's this time, and thank God it came during Corona when there was lockdown. Basically, most of it was around that time when I could not even look at myself in the mirror. I didn't have self-esteem. It was lost completely. Nothing. You don't even want to get out of the house. So the only thing I used to do is I used to love sitting down. I go through Facebook, get some memes, post the memes. That was making me so happy because number one, I didn't have sleep. I could not sleep unless I took sleeping pills. And I was on pills for a long time. I was even on depression medication for a long time. Now depression medication, you just feel like you're high every other time. And you can't function without it. Actually, you can't even sleep without those sleeping pills. And then when I changed my psychiatrist, I got another one who said, now we are going to do psychotherapy. I want to get you out of this medication and I want you to talk. And at first he was like, you see, I don't understand how you're talking about your life and it seems like you're talking about someone else's life. You've not accepted. I'm giving a story about my life and it feels like I'm talking about someone else. I'm like, I want you to talk about that story of yours over and over again. And I'll be contented once you own that story. And you forgive yourself because you feel like it is your fault. But sometimes it's not even your fault that you go through what you go through. I want you to own that story. Own it. Let it become part of your story. And that is how I think I came out of it. Plus, I talked about support system. My parents are very supportive. My twin brother, very supportive. Dr. Mulwa, she really checked on me. She was not only my supervisor for the academic. She was very supportive. And there was also at work, because even now at work, it just became so hard. Sometimes you don't even feel like you even want to go to work. But at least most of that part was lockdown, so we didn't even need to go to work. But I had a very supportive chairman of department, Dr. Tabitha Amolo, at the time. And these are people, even colleagues at work, these are people who are very instrumental in me coming out of it. You'd get a colleague, you're just in the house, a colleague calls you, nipikie chai, nipitie. I want to see you. And they come, we spend time, we talk. People talk about their challenges, and you're like, kumbe si mimi napitia peke yangu. I had a very strong support system. That is what I would say. And people, even sometimes people you've not even related with sana. Like you've met, maybe I'm in charitable organization. I'm also in, I've been a very active member of Rotaract. Yeah, so there's Rotaract Bahati. And those people of Rotaract Bahati, kwanza the outgoing president and this president, those are people who used, even the time, because there's a time I was also very, very sick after the accident. I got the doctor called it a lung contusion because niliumia kifua. Yeah, they used to come and spend the day with me. Watu wanakuja friends. Mtu anakuja tu, mnakaa, mnaongea. Even my colleagues from my previous jobs, Princeton.
Okay. They used to come.
Yani watu unatumiwa watu mpaka unashangaa kumbe, you know, sometimes you used to sit down and I'm like, mimi nikagonjeka saa hii. Nani anaweza kuja kuniona? Do I have friends? But niligonjeka. Na niliona I have a support system. And these are people who genuinely care. Au sio walimu wa maths, but kuna walimu wa maths, but how
si walimu wa maths.
Yeah, and I'm very grateful. And if they ever get to watch this video, I would say they played a very major role in me springing out of that depression. Yeah, it was a dark phase. There's a time you're depressed, you don't have a job, you're jobless, you're depressed, you're sick.
You're constantly sad.
You're looking, actually me last year ndo nilikuwa nakaa tu chini. Ukiangalia hiyo that quote that you read, what's not giving up on yourself felt like. And I saw that and I related it so much with my life. Because I look back and at some point I just given up. I had just given up and I was like, wacha tu ikae, sio lazima. So you're looking, unaangalia mbele unaona giza tupu. And nikanaambia mtu last year, ilikuwa imefika place nilikuwa naona sitamaliza last year. I would even like, you know, I'm living alone. You don't even want to lock your doors. You're like, maybe I will sleep and not wake up.
That is depression.
Maybe I will sleep and not wake up. So you want to, unalala kwa kiti na hata hujafunga mlango. Ndio ukikufa, watu wasi struggle kuja kuvunja milango. Yeah, at some point I felt like now, even I that time I sat down and as I was talking to God, I was like, God, you've decided 36 it is. And I would have wanted it to be different, but if this is it, then it is okay.
So be your will.
So be your will. So be your will, because it had gotten, very bad. Very bad, that it is bad that I don't want to share now. It's a bad that I will share another time.
When you are comfortable.
When I'm comfortable.
Yeah, it is very okay.
And then, one more thing, the prayers. In this life, two things that I've really seen they work. It is the blessings of your father and the prayers of your mother. Utaingia kwa mahali penye darkness that you've never even felt before. But if you have those two things, favor itakuwa inatoka kila mahali, and you're like, you just get somewhere and people are just out to help you. People are just, what is it? How can we do it? Yeah, and it is just favor. Nasema favor. Na hii life, by the way, nikiambia watu, pengine hata si lazima you work so hard. Sometimes ask for God's favor.
Tick, tick, tick.
Tick, tick. Ask for God's favor. And that's it. Atakuwa tu unafikia mahali mlango inafunguka, umelala tu hivi. Like your job I got on the way I said. I was just sleeping. And then we had just applied. We had applied for part-timing. And then I get a call. Hi, am I talking to Ann? Yes. Just come and get your letter. I'm like, letter for what? I'm like, you come to Egerton. This is Egerton. This is, come and get your letter. They're going to get my letter. It is a letter of a job offer. Sometimes I just look at my life and I'm like, as much as unapitia shida, situation, God is there.
Sure.
He's there.
Sure. Sure. Yeah. So you have said, allow me to ask, you said during this period of depression, your self-esteem had really gone down. I like talking about self-esteem because about me, I know how having a low self-esteem about yourself ni weapon against your own self. Like unajiangalia ukiona another person who looks maybe better than you feel insecure, you feel you are not enough. Like there are those questions that when you have not worked on yourself to get to a level where your self-esteem is correct, you'll constantly have those feelings like you are not enough. So how did you work on yourself? Kwa sababu maybe the first time I really interacted with you, I said, this lady, nilikupenda within the first time I saw you. Nikaona this lady, she's okay, she's fine. How did you work on yourself to get to that point where your self-esteem is high?
It's a process. And for me, even I was not even comparing myself to other people. For me, I was comparing myself with my past self.
Okay.
And I love photographs. I do. So I have some photos in my house, even on the phone. I have photos. I used to look at my photos like 2-3 years ago. I look at myself and I'm like, I don't like the way I look. I don't like myself at all. I don't like. And then this time, you see, the way depression makes you like, you lose weight. Because for me, my depression was not that one of wanting to eat. Mine was I would even stay there all day. I'm not even hungry. Just a lot of not eating. Then you know the way you change. I know I'm not a fat person. Like, but I was because that Shana too kama kasindano. I had lost a lot of weight. To some point, I was even I think 52 kilograms. My height. 52 kilograms. And then I am chocolatey, but now that time I would say I was navy blue in color. And then you see like there's this acne. I struggled a lot with acne, a lot. Depression can just kill you. So it's a process of accepting yourself and a process of, I was very intentional and I wanted to spring out of it. Not giving up on yourself. I really wanted to spring on it, out of it, and spring out of it. And that is why I deliberately had to go and seek counseling, seek those services. And I went for therapy for quite a long time. It's like when I put it together, it could be over 1 year. And there was a week I used to go for therapy like twice in a week. I go on a Monday, I go on a Thursday. But what really helped me is when I went to this therapist who talked about let's do psychotherapy. And I talked about my story. I came to interact with it and I came to own my story. And it is what it was. I might feel that I messed here and here. I might feel like I should have. You see, like, you tell yourself, I am not a foolish person. This person, I've gone to school, I'm even doing my PhD, but how can I allow, especially for that part of toxic relationship, how can I allow a man to just take advantage of me the way I allowed a man to take advantage of me? But sometimes it's just even beyond you. Sometimes those are things that you need to forgive yourself. And the first thing is just forgive yourself. Own your story. And if you feel that you let yourself down, forgive yourself. Just forgive it. Then talk to God. Have a strong support system, as I'm saying. Like I had a very strong support system. Especially my parents, my family is very supportive. I even remember there's a time my mom came and stayed with me for like 10 days. That time I was sick. And if you have friends, talk to them. Don't usinyamazie shida zako. Even me, whatever used to kill me at first is like I was the kind of person who I don't want people to know my shenanigans. Let me go through it alone. Why should people know my business?
I've been there.
So you're going
too.
through a tough situation, you're keeping it to yourself, keeping it to your heart, you're letting it eat you, you're letting it eat you up. No, talk about it. And that is what my Patrick was telling me, that therapist. No. By the time I'm done with you, I want you to be able to own your story. By the time I'm done with you, I want you to be able to forgive yourself. By the time I'm done with you, I want you to be open. Your friends, your family, call. If there's anything that inakusumbua, sit down and talk to someone about it. Yeah. And those things, sometimes you used to go for those therapy, unakutana na wenzako. Then the guy was like, let's sit and listen to each other's story.
Wow.
And you come to realize that life, it's not just you going through things in life. People are battling serious things in life. They are. Yeah. But the thing is, how do I move from here? Yeah, I'm already here. It's like it's a meme I was saying. Like, if you find yourself in a hole, what is the first thing you should do? You find yourself in a hole. The thing is, you stop digging even before you start getting out of the hole, you stop digging it more. Usiendelee kuichimba. Achana nayo venye iko, then just find ways to get out of it. Yeah. So that's
So as we wind up, I want you to tell us about the lessons that you have carried along so far to get to where you are right now.
Quite a number of lessons that I've carried along with me. And one lesson that I've carried with me, that actually the big one, is talk to God. Be prayerful. Tell God. And sometimes things happen the way they happen, not because God is not there or it doesn't. No. Some things happen the way they happen, so that you will sit down and look back and you're like, this situation took me a level higher. You see, you're going through a very dark moment in your life, but then you'll have a testimony. The thing is, a testimony comes after every hard situation. There's a testimony that you're creating, or God is preparing you, is preparing a testimony for you. And sometimes you sit down and you're like, kwani huyu Mungu. Hata mimi zengine niko nakaa chini niko like, sasa siwachane na mimi, siwende kwa mtu mwingine. No, this is too much. No, this is too much. And in that, there's a time I had even given up on this PhD. Actually, that time I got sick. I even given up on it, and I'm like, why am I even struggling so much? So there's a friend of mine, ako outside the country, anafanya, I can't even remember the name of that country, but he's outside, anafanya kazi na international school.
Okay.
Na alikuwa amenitafutia job, na nilikuwa nimepata job. So he was supposed to come back, and then the visas for that country, you get them from Ethiopia. Kenya hawana hiyo embassy ya hiyo country. Can't remember the country. But it was a good package. You know, you're being paid in dollars when you convert. Kwanza venye dollars sahi ina misbehave. Of course ina behave. For us it is misbehaving, for them it's behaving. Yeah. So at that point tumeangalia nini, hata nimepata ka job. I'm supposed to go. Then now this is the time now I get seriously sick. Because you see, there's that period I was telling you, the period when I was not in a job. So that is the time I looked. So I looked, I got, and I was supposed to start this job in September. September of 20 of last year. And then I got sick. Very sick, by the way. I could not even wake up. Nitoke hapa ati nifike tu pale niende nikajiwekea maji ya kukunywa. Hapana, I was breathless. And I'm like, why is it happening right now? Why, like, what do you want with me? So imagine if I would have gone out of this country at that time, that would be the end of this journey of PhD. It would have been the end. But I just think God was, and I normally say that this is just the beginning. We are just touching the ground, because ukiona kwenye umetoka na ukiona kwenye unaenda. So that is the greatest lesson that I've learned. To trust in God. Even in the darkest of times, He has a plan. He knows. He knows. Yeah, and this is something that I've been taught by my parents. You know, my parents are very prayerful people. Because their parents who mtakaa tu hivi, mmekaa tu mnapiga story, alafu nasikia wacha tuombe. Wacha, let us pray. Like, they are very prayerful. They are the people who wake up at 3 in the a.m. to pray. They are people who are very God-fearing. And there's a time when, as a family, we had so many challenges. Actually, I was not the only one who was facing challenges in my life during those, like the last 3 years. It wasn't me. There's a time my dad was even sick. Na akapata stroke. And he sprang out of that stroke in 3 days.
Wow.
Just 3 days, and was able to walk. Ilikuja tu ikamhit, he could not walk because he has high blood sugar, so ilipanda sana, ikahit yo ni 33. I think that's the highest. And he got like a stroke. He could not move, and he could not move for 3 days. He was hospitalized, and when he came out of that hospital, he's telling us God wanted him to be in that hospital because he has read the Bible more than he's ever read the Bible before, and God was speaking to him, and the kind of faith. Then my mom is here, amekuwa na shida ya miguu, amefanywa the first operation, then the other mguu imeanza kuleta shida, then now she goes for another operation. During all this time, then we have my sister also gets very sick. At this point, I'm also very sick. At this point, my brother is also struggling with my big brother. One of my big brother is struggling with situations. And everyone was, this family, everyone was going through stuff at some point. And it was a very dark place for us as a family. But what kept us going is this, like you see your parents, they are still strong. You're going through this, but your parents are your anchor, and they're like, unajua Mungu wetu yuko. Now this is just a season that is going to end. And that is another lesson. We have seasons in life.
Yeah.
There's a season when you're happy. There's a season when you're sad. There's a season when things are working. There's a season when things are not working. What do? We learn to trust in God for a better season in life.
Sure. Yeah. I feel like this is not our last sitting.
It shouldn't.
It shouldn't be our last sitting. When you are ready, that part of your life which you will fail to talk about it, that part of
the one that took me through depression.
Yeah, that toxic relationship phase. When you're ready to talk about it, you will be very glad to host you again. I believe there is power in sharing our experiences.
Yeah, there's power.
I believe in the power of sharing our stories. So leo kuna kitu yenye una feel tungeguzia and maybe we have not mentioned as we wind up?
I think basically we've talked almost about everything. Yeah, it's just that I would want to encourage a young person out there, people who are in secondary school or even in colleges, and maybe they want to further their education, and tell them that there are opportunities out here. You don't have to be limited by the fact umeona the structure of the school fees, especially at master's and PhD level, and you're like, I can't afford this. There are opportunities that are there. There are funding agencies that can fund you, can give you scholarship, and they can fund your studies. So let's finances not be a reason as to why someone would have wanted to further their studies, be a reason as to why they can't further their studies, because right now there's information and there's a lot of opportunities out here, especially for the young career researchers, women. Actually, even for women in science, we have so many platforms for supporting the dream of a girl child, especially in the science field, because as much as we have many women in the field who are doing great things out here, it's still not where we would want to be. We would want more women researchers in this field of science. So yeah, if people are there and they want those opportunities, they can reach out to me. Yes.
Wow, nice. You can give out your number. My next question was, labda wanashanga sasa mimi nitaanzia wapi? Do I know people are graduating, degree naisha, unashanga what next I'm supposed to do with my life? Yeah, na unataka kuendelea. So if you are confident about giving them your number and you're comfortable with it, ni sawa, you can give it out.
Yeah, my number is 0727 162 102. 0727 162 102. Yeah.
Taiweka hapo chini, even in the description or in the details huko kwa comment section, you will find the information. Today is going to be one of my good days. Thank you for even accepting my invitation and that chance of sharing your story. Mimi, it has really blessed me from where I'm sitting.
Yeah, thank
you
you
sana for the opportunity.
yeah, thank you for having me. Yeah. So sometimes it feels nice to talk about, you look back and you're like, I almost gave up, but now you look ahead and you're like, yeah, it's encouraged, and I hope it has encouraged someone out
It
there.
will.
Yeah, everyone is facing demons in life.
will.
There's challenges.
I know.
Hakuna mtu utaona ati life yake iko straight line. Yeah, so it's so many times you give up, but then there are also so many times that you say, let me not give up on myself. Let me see what the future holds. And I think that's the secret to life, not giving up on yourself.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me here. I will come back.
Karibu.
Talk about whatever took me to depression.
You're so much welcome. You're so much welcome. Now on your title, I'll keep on calling you Dr. Ann. Hi, Dr. Ann, because that is who you are.
That is who I am.
Yeah. My viewers, thank you for the time. Thank you for taking your time to watch this. And if you have not subscribed, kindly remember to subscribe so that we can grow together in this platform through sharing stories, real life stories that inspire and encourage us to keep on pushing in this journey called life. Because after all, sisi wote ni binadamu going through different things, and when you hear somebody else has been through a certain phase and they were able to come out of it, also you can also come out of that phase. Asante sana for your time. Until next time, adios.